Robert Thompson. Brian Robert Thompson. Brian Robert Thompson. Present and future, visible and invisible for me, for what I want to know, for what we want to know, for what's hidden and we want to know. Oh, man. Invisible. For what we want to know. We want to know, was he doing shady things as a CEO? Whose questions are these? These have to be Michelle. Michelle has the most fucked up questions. Will the gunman get caught? Was another person involved?
No.
Who was behind this hit? Why did Phil like someone was following?
Why did he feel?
Well, where's the he?
Sorry.
And for what's hidden and hidden behind darkness, and the God of the stage with answers to our questions. Here we go. Here we go. This is, honestly, I'm not going to lie. Probably going to get kicked off. But anyway, I honestly said a while back that we have so many, like, superior military forces and so many people that are patriots or so whatever, that why hadn't they gone after certain people who are at the top who are hurting us? Like, you know what I mean? And then suddenly now it's starting to happen. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of interesting. Here we go. First two coming out for the reading with Brian Robert Thompson. Reading. Here we go. Ooh. It says destruction of work. So that's interesting. Right out the gate, saying destruction of work. In other words, destroyed his work, what he does, what he was doing. Obviously, someone not in favor, you don't have to keep that up there. Someone not in favor of what this person was doing. And then the crossing of that, it says, would there be opportunities or would there be no opportunities? In other words, someone got their opportunities taken away and now used the opportunity to take advantage. It says, not alone. So, in other words, there's someone else was, I think, pulling the strings. It says, this wasn't done alone. It says, on the left side of that, it's talking about past stuff, and it's talking about not giving money or not finding balance with giving money. In other words, again, we know what he did. If you guys are, aware of this whole situation, we know that he was a CEO for an insurance company. Yeah. And again, this is all for entertainment purposes. This is just, this is not facts or factual, but we all know what it is. It's talking about not giving out money or not finding balance with money. And then it talks about presently, it says no more opportunities. Oh. So we're talking about him and he has no more opportunities, right? Mm-hmm. It says at this point, everything should be out in the open. Like everything's going to start to become very clear here going into the future, which means we're going to be made aware of why all this went down. And it's funny because the guy that they showed a picture of, you guys saw that? He looks like Jake Gyllenhaal.
He's a good looking guy.
Well, I don't know if he's a good looking guy. I wasn't checking him out. But I mean, what if it's just some guy who's wearing the same outfit by chance? That's happened, right?
Yeah.
I've had that happen to me before. Girls have had that happen. They buy the same dress.
Yeah.
End up at the same party. It says...
That's true.
It says patiently. So this person was patient. They waited. This was calculated. It says, at this point, and they were triumphant with it. It says, this was someone whose hands were tied up. So their hands were tied, made to feel stupid or do whatever. Money buys a lot of shit. And so it's talking about that. So he tied someone's hands to where they couldn't do anything. In other words, it could be an insurance thing or it could be, which hasn't popped up yet, but we'll see. It says, either way, there was evil done on both sides. So when you go an eye for an eye, it's still evil either way. So like if you were denying people who were dying money, which we don't know, it's all entertainment purposes, but if you were denying people who are dying, then of course, like there's gonna be some pissed off people. If I have my son and something happens to him and my insurance isn't gonna cover it,
you want blood.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not gonna say what I would do, but I just say this: I love my son and my wife more than anything in this whole world. Mm-hmm. God's my number one, but there ain't no second best to the people I love the most. And so, I would be a little upset. It says, not depressed, it says, but death. And there it is. So, like, in other words, no remorse. It's saying no remorse from both sides on the shit he was doing as a CEO, and no remorse on the person who took him out. And again, when they showed that picture, it was after the shooting, and he's smiling.
He was flirting with the
If that's him, that's again, entertainment purposes. It says no true love. In other words, he didn't love other people or want to help other people. He's just worried about the money. Money brings greed, and in the crossing of that, it says a decision that was made about money. So this is what I mean. Like, there's probably
people don't care.
Probably millions of people who have insurance who end up in situations where they're finding themselves not being able to handle it, and the person they love is dying and they can't get the health care they need. Insurance should be to help us. That's why I said we should start our own insurance company. We'll find some angel investors, start our own insurance company, and really help people. You know what I mean? Because it's sad. Like, your kids, dying of leukemia, and you can't get any help for them.
Dog, they were using AI to deny claims.
That's even worse.
Are you serious?
Yes.
It says it right here.
Yep.
Allegedly, under Thompson's leadership, United Healthcare began using artificial intelligence to automate claim denials, resulting in patients being unable to access medical care. That's what I was asking you. Do you think that has to do with the past?
No human feeling, heart, or
no. That's right. There's no remorse.
The mighty
no remorse for death on either side.
Okay,
can we do the reading?
Go for it.
Thank you. Here we go. So we're going to get into the first two. It says destruction of work. Destruction of things that were in the works, or destruction of work. It says there's no triumph here. It says, and people weren't happy. It says at this point, it was like rolling the dice. Like, you might get lucky and they might cover you, or, if you got lucky or you really were persistent enough. And it's funny, I've heard other people that I know that work in that industry who have told me the first request you get, denied automatically. Not even checked, just denied. You have to be persistent for them to finally say, fine, fuck it, like, we'll pay for it. Dude, it shouldn't have to be that way. It says that quickly, it talks about, there was a child that went upside down. So here's a child that goes upside down because of all this. This could be a reason. And I don't know if it's a son or someone that hired him to do the job because of their son, but it's talking about someone that went upside down because of it. That's interesting. In the crossing of that, it talks about opportunities and no opportunities. And it says, for this person, there was no other road to go down. The only way to master this situation was to do what they did. It said, a woman who had money, who paid for it? It says, to get away from this, to get away from this person. It says, listen to what I'm telling you. Again, so if it was a professional hit, then it was probably paid for, right? Again, entertainment purposes. It was paid for by somebody because people don't do it. Because if it was a woman, it wasn't her, obviously.
Women are vicious.
Women who have money, this is a CEO who had money. If it's someone related to him, or even,
just gonna say,
you know what I mean? Okay. And there's probably a lot of anger there. It says not alone. So that we already know it wasn't alone when this happened. It says there's no change now. It says house, everything upside down. It says, was there something good that came out of this? And it talks about money. It talks about three things: the work and the money. In other words, the way things work and the way the money's dispersed. It says, so there won't be any more broken heart. Sometimes big things like this, as bad as it may be on either side, good things come out of it, because sometimes you got to shake fools up. If you don't shake up the tree, and maybe this isn't the way, and I'm not condoning this, again, entertainment purposes, but when you shake up the tree, other people start to say, like, oh, that's not going to happen to me. But think about it. Suddenly you get all these people, and there's a lot of copycats. When we had the first major, excuse me for saying this, and again, entertainment purposes, the first school shooting, after that, there was tons of them. Yeah. Tons of copycat shootings, things like that. And it's because people get tired of shit. And a kid who's getting bullied is the same thing as a client who's not getting what they need for their insurance. It's like being bullied. Here, we have all this money. What are you going to do about it? Like, yeah, you paid your insurance. Who cares? That's not cool, bro.
And some people lose life savings.
That's what I'm saying.
Their houses, everything.
It says, at this point, it says that there's no opportunities anymore. No more opportunities for this person. It said, defend, God upside down. There's no defense. It's saying there's no defense. God is upside down with this person. So again, for Brian, whatever his name is, Thompson, God's like, nah, bro. Like, there's innocent people. Yeah, innocent people who are no longer here because of some of the decisions that you made and the way you handle the business. It says, and moving forward, will things get better or will they not? It says, in the circle of life, there's fortune, good things that are coming. It says, in this world. So there's a lot of big changes coming to this world, guys. Get ready. It does say, moving to the future, it says, things are clear now. It's going to be clear in the future that it shouldn't have been a problem. But moms and mothers were turned away, even, for insurance, for the kids, for the same thing. It says, over a man who just was in love with himself, an angry, bitter man. It says, and again, a face-to-face happened. So an angry, bitter man and a man who's making all this money and loving life, it says, and finally a face-to-face. And it wasn't really face-to-face, but I'm sure he saw him at first when he came out. It says, he patiently waited. And again, we know that he sat in that car or waited for 24 hours for that person to come out. Yes.
He was on a mission.
On a mission. It says, a lot of money paid. A lot of money paid for this. It says, so that person would no longer have that burden. So whoever did, the person who did this paid a lot of money so there'd be no burden. And there she is again. It pops up. It's the same woman. Same woman, same suit, same everything. It brought her. I don't think it was a mistress. I think it's, I don't want to say. I think there was an ex, but it could be, they were still, when you have a lot of money, you fuck around.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't, but you fuck around. I can't. I made a promise. But if I was the person I was before,
yeah,
that kind of money, there'd be pussy falling out of the trees.
Mm-hmm.
It says, at this point, still, we don't know everything. It's incomplete. It says, but a woman jilted over love. There you go. It says, there is triumph here, though. It says triumph. It says, with no more lies and deceit, now the truth is going to come out. And maybe that's what needed to happen. Like, who was exposing these people and all these people getting their claims denied? You have to wait till you go to this major lawsuit. By that time, the person you love is gone. And you're fighting for something that you're never going to see. It doesn't replace the person. Yeah. It says, there was no battle before. It's true. There was no battle before. It says, so again, there was no miracles, no magic. Like, people weren't getting better because they don't have the money to pay for it. It says, now there'll be a celebration. It says, and now people will offer again, like, okay, how can we help you? I mean, that's how it should be. Not how can we take your money and fuck you. It says, this person's hands were tied. It says, and so they went through a hard time, a real hardship. It says they lost a family member. Told you. It says, and in order to return to love, they needed to show strength and power. And honestly, sometimes, and you see these old movies, these are real old stories where power and strength came from when, even if you died for your family as a martyr, like, you gave your name back to your family. Mm-hmm. But this is a whole different story. It says there'll be no new beginning for this person anymore. In other words, they're gone. And the death card's here. It says they were evil, like the devil. Money is the root of all evils. It says there was stress. It says because it was evil. So in other words, evil things were happening. Like, he was already being threatened. He kind of knew. It says he didn't want to be a fool, but he was. It says don't be a fool. Like, he was doing things that he knew were going to come back to him. It says, and at that point, he was discontent. It says, and it returns to cut off his head. That's interesting reading. Crazy. Very interesting reading. This needs to get up. Yeah.
You called it.
It says, no more depression. It says, and it says, death. So in other words, no more disloyalty, no more anything. Death comes because of it, because there's no true love. No true love in what they did, or no true love with other people. In other words, just about.
Are they going to catch the guy that did it?
Well, you didn't ask that question in the thing, bro.
I think it is.
No, it's not on there.
No.
It says, a man who had money that goes upside down. It says quickly, like he was gone quick. It says, it may be unjust. It says, but again, that person was waiting for him in the right place at the right time. It says, and although, it's a bad energy, the same time, like the same bad energy of being unhealthy. So in other words, people who are unhealthy, it's an injustice to them. Yeah. Just as it's an injustice that he was taken so quickly, but he also made choices. Yes. And again, this is all for entertainment purposes. It says, will there be balance now? A decision that's made over money, or will there be no balance now? And it says, he has no more lovers. So he had lovers. So there you go. So he was fucking around. It says no more lovers. It says no more friendships with opportunities. It says the one obstacle now, it says his past. So again, he's got to pay for his past mistakes. That's his obstacle moving forward in his death and in his life. It says returning to a night and wanting to pretend to be this good guy again. It says so there would be no karma. It says, but that's what brought him to his knees. He was fake. It says, and there was an angry woman with a double-edged sword, which means they're going to find out that she was involved. So you asked that question, you got it. There was no more spirituality left in that person. It says, but for some reason, in between those two things, the sun still shines. Like, it's still like...
Scorned woman.
But the sun shines because even though it might have been out of being scorned or vengeance or whatever you want to call it, the sun shines because it's going to open the eyes to a lot of other companies. Whoa, we need to be careful here. People aren't going to take this shit no more. And if you're a big time CEO, the last thing you want to do is be hunted, right? It says, things for now are incomplete. It says, but it will come to an end and you will see that they were blocked. They were blocked from what they needed. This person didn't get a chance to get what they needed or didn't get the insurance they needed. And even, the wife maybe she knew all these horrible things he was doing. How are you making 10.8 million and people can't get medical coverage, bro?
That's crazy.
How do you make that much money as a CEO
And not care.
and not care because all the money you're saving, they're giving to you in fucking bonuses? So I don't know if you guys have questions about this.